afternoon. How's everybody doing?
Hey, good afternoon. Doing great.
Well, good. It's great to see you guys, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to show up on our screen here and do this recording with Tennessee Mortgage Bankers. We're just really excited to get to know more about the coalition and what you guys are doing. We always like to start by doing introductions. I'll start with myself. I am Tiffany Cersei Wright. I'm a mortgage loan originator with Synovus Bank in Nashville. I am also the Middle Tennessee Director for Tennessee Mortgage Bankers Association. So, Patricia, you want to start and introduce yourself?
Be happy to. I am now the Executive Director, the first staff person for the Tennessee Affordable Housing Coalition. I am a housing advocate, have been for a long time. I had a 25-year career at Tennessee Housing Development Agency. So my skill set is making a lot of noise in the usual way.
Awesome. Angie?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Angie Hubbard, and I am the Director of Economic and Community Development at the Greater Nashville Regional Council. So what does all that mean? First of all, Greater Nashville Regional Council, or GNRC, is the development district for Northern Middle Tennessee. There are 9 of us across the state, so everybody's part of some development district somewhere in the state. And we have 13 counties in our region and 52 municipalities. So I get to work with the elected officials and their staff to help them identify economic and community development priorities, as well as help them identify and secure funding opportunities. So why am I talking about housing and why am I involved? I am the new chair of the Middle Tennessee Council, and that's because I have a 10-year background at the Housing Authority in Nashville, and my heart is for housing. And no matter where we go, we know how important housing is to every single aspect of a person's life and a community's viability. And so I'm linking the conversations with housing and economic and community development everywhere I can go. So I'm excited to be part of the group and part of this conversation.
Thank you. Melissa?
Hello, my name is Melissa Duong. I support our Community Reinvestment Act activities for parts of East Tennessee, and I also support Western North Carolina. I work for First Horizon Bank. Community Reinvestment Act, or CRA, as we call those 3 letters all the time, is extremely important in our communities. It ensures that banks are meeting the needs of low to moderate income families and communities. And a significant part of CRA is affordable housing, and that is how I got introduced to the coalition. Our bank has always been members, and I started with attending the East Tennessee meetings about 2 years ago, and then now I serve as the vice chair for the East Tennessee Coalition.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, Brody.
All right. Well, Melissa took all my words. I too am the CRA guy. I work for Simmons Bank. I'm the community affairs officer and also work in business development. My background is in mortgage, where I originated loans for 13 years. And like Melissa said, we look out for low to moderate income individuals and also protected classes to make sure that there's a supposedly level playing field across the state of Tennessee.
That's great. Well, and I too would like to just go ahead and mention I am in a dual role today because representing Tennessee Mortgage Bankers, but I am a proud coalition member. And I think it's just very, very important when you talk about affordability and sustainability that you make sure that you are active and involved and engaged with like-minded individuals who also share that passion. So that is what the coalition has been and meant to me. So glad to be part of this coalition and love everything that the purpose and what it's about. But I want to hear from you guys. Who wants to give us a little bit of history and maybe discuss mission and goals and of what you want to accomplish with the coalition?
So the Tennessee Affordable Housing Coalition was created in 2010 to bring together like-minded community stakeholders to really advocate for quality, affordable housing. And the mission of our coalition is to connect, educate, and advocate. And we do that through several different committees that we have through our coalition. Our coalition is broken up into 3 different areas: West Tennessee, Brody chairs, Middle Tennessee, which Angie chairs, and then East Tennessee, which I co-chair. I do have to mention a little bit about East Tennessee because we are then broken up into 3 different areas: Northeast Tennessee, East and Southeast Tennessee. And so the importance of the coalition for my particular region is that we don't often get a chance to collaborate and speak to each other in person. So the quarterly meetings we set up are incredibly important for networking, talking about any initiatives, not just statewide, but specific to our region, and just getting together and having updates on what each organization is doing.
That's awesome. That's great. Okay, so let's go to Brody, because of course, and I don't know if you all had an opportunity to get on our webinar that we had with National MBA this morning, talking about minority affordable housing issues. But one of the big focuses coming on from a national standpoint is making sure we close the economic wealth gap, particularly with African Americans in that community. So Brody, do you want to update us on the partnership that Mortgage Bankers is doing with you guys in Memphis, Convergence?
Gladly. My purpose is to help co-lead and bridge the gap between education and information. We're in circles all the time where it's standard conversation for us to be in the mortgage conversation, but a lot of the public is not. So we're trying to find ways to bridge that gap and also to bridge the trust gap, because unfortunately in the past, banks have had a bad reputation. Trying to find ways to bring harmony and peace between the community and what's going on in the banking world.
That's right. That's right. That sounds great. All right, and I do know that they sort of kind of pushed that out in that initiative, early March, and then probably, everything sort of kind of plummeted. I saw you do that, Patricia, with COVID and all that good stuff. So, but anyway, thank you for that, and I'm hoping that we can trudge along and move that. So Angie, do you now want to talk about housing and how it affects the economy?
I would love to give you an answer on how to fix the economy, but it's interesting. My role, I get to meet with so many different groups, with mayors, with their economic development staff, with chambers, with businesses, but also with housing developers. And I always ask them how they think about the role of housing as it relates to economic development. And I get a different answer depending on who I talk to. So what that tells me is, when we need a space to bring all of these different perspectives together, because until we really understand what it means to everybody, we really can't move the needle. Yep. And of course, our hearts for helping those with very low incomes, those with barriers to housing, and we need to dispel a lot of myths about how that has an impact on economic development. There's great sources for workforce development opportunities at a lot of properties and through a lot of different housing programs. But it's being really intentional when we do our economic development planning in our cities and counties in our region, our transportation planning. That's a big deal. So it's elevating the housing conversation in every aspect of local and regional planning that we do, to make sure that, especially now with the recovery from the pandemic, we've got to see who's affected, how they were affected, where they live, and then how we can be equitable and inclusive to make sure that whatever we put in place to recover and get this economy jump started benefits everybody, but also making sure that when we use the term economic development, it doesn't scare people into thinking that my house, I'm going to be displaced, my values are going to go up. So that there's so many layers to this onion, and that's what I love about the coalition is, and in my role over the course of the year, our meetings are going to be focused on bringing together these various groups that share different perspectives, but at the end of the day, we have conversations about how everyone, when you get to the heart of it, wants their communities to prosper, and the residents that live there want to prosper. So if we keep all of that in mind, then we can get there.
Amen. It's so very, very important. I love that. So Patricia, with all that said, so you want to talk to us about your puzzle campaign that you've got going on that a lot of us have participated in?
I'd love to. And then, of course, this timing is very good with the thought about puzzles. Apparently, puzzles have flown off the shelves since March, since we're home together a lot.
Yep.
But each of us talked about different pieces of the coalition. Our central theme is that housing is where a lot of things come together, and housing is part of the economic puzzle. Angie and others like her bring new companies or support companies in building manufacturing plants, or other employers build together, and their employees, us, we have to get there. We have to get to work. And how many hours of the day do we want to spend getting to work? So thinking of housing as we think of all economic development is key. And the coalition, how we learn from each other, who does what. Each of these little boxes do different parts. And as we learn what each of us does, we can do it better together.
Yes. And actually, that was one of the things that came out of the webinar from National MBA this morning that says the cohesiveness, when you can have several different voices and several different aspects, but when you all come together and we have one voice and we're speaking the same language, how powerful is that? That is how we move the needle in this space. So with that said, so who wants to tell me, how do you join the coalition? You know, is it different in each area of the state, or you join for the state, or how do you join?
To make it easy, you just go to the website, and the letters are tnahc.org. Go to the website and you can pay with a credit card. We, pre-COVID, had regional meetings because there are regional focus points, and we would get together 2 or 3 times a year in East Tennessee, 2 or 3 times a year in Middle Tennessee, 2 or 3 times a year in West Tennessee, and annually at the group meeting in March. Life is different now. We are meeting virtually, but with your membership, you get the whole membership list. So you can call Sally, you can call George, you can jump on a 2-person call and say, how did you work it out this way? How can I make that happen in Bolivar the same way you made it happen in Salina? How's Memphis going to teach me what to do in Jonesboro? So that membership list is a real tool for people to use.
Yes, I can amen to that. Well, it's been wonderful having you guys on the call today and on this recording. I am excited for this information to get out to our membership, hoping that we can engage in partnership on some things further. But just on behalf of Tennessee Mortgage Bankers, I just want to thank you all for your time today, and I hope you have a great, fantastic day.
Thank you, Tip. Thank you, Simmons.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. Okay, y'all ready? Good afternoon. How's everybody doing?
Great, thank you.
Great.
Fantastic.
Well, you all look great on my screen. Everybody, I said we got 6. No, that's not right. We have 5. I'm counting Simmons and myself. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. See, I already have a blooper. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna start over. Melissa.
Yeah, I can say.
Getting information out
I
to the
think we're-
community, and also bridging the trust gap. So the communicate.
About your housing is the economic is an important. What does it say? I've messed it up. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about housing is the drive of the economic? What did you say? I'm gonna have to do it again. Housing is the what? What is she talking about?
Housing is a driver.
Okay.
Housing beyond families, it helps actual communities.
Housing
And
is the Uber of the
businesses.
economy.
Okay. Okay. So or something. So
Jazz hands?
all right. Yeah. So you come
No,
up with
no, no, Brody. No,
Not
Brody.
Brody.
Not hygienic. Don't touch your face.
Yeah.
Good for you, Melissa. Good job.
Melissa.
I was thinking to myself, how long am I going to be cross-eyed for?
I know.
Great.
Shameless marketing.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, you know we should do a dance. Everybody needs to do a dance move. I think
Everybody has to
everybody
know a dance move.
Sitting down.
should do a dance move. Okay, so on 3.
One-handed for Angie.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. We'll have to get you a brush. We have to get you like a 2-sided brush. Thank you. See you later.
Right.
Bye.